like I was saying, the very unique story because, sometimes you meet founders that you meet in India, but their ventures are domiciled abroad.
Right.
Sometimes you meet founders in India whose ventures are domiciled in India. Right. But this was a very unique situation, right? Where I met a founder in a foreign land, in a country I've only visited once in my entire life, and they were domiciled in India. Right. And were a venture for India, but they were pitching at an event in Turkey. Right. We met.
So I mean, like, these were, I think now that these were the stars aligned, and it was just one meeting that we had at that point of time, and it changed everything. So
we met up at Startup Turkey.
Yes,
right, in Istanbul, and I was as a speaker / some judge for an event over there. And you had also landed up there. It was very odd because there were not that many Indian startups there.
Right.
I think you were one of the only ones there.
Yeah, I mean, we were one of the 3-4 startups that were there, but yes, very unique.
How did you find Startup Turkey? What was the whole journey there?
Right. So essentially, I just was out of college. So in August of 2017, I finished my college, and then I worked for almost 1.5 years with the Excel Analytics.
Correct.
As a business analyst. So October 2018 is when I started my own startup with the name GetWork. And सबसे पहली चीज जो किसी भी एक फाउंडर के दिमाग में आती है, and I was just out of college, was the investment. I don't know why and I don't know how, but it is something that is out
correct.
there, right? So we also started seeing for those opportunities and everything. So I applied on Startup Istanbul. So it was like if you apply on this and fill up a whole form, then we'll award you and reward you. So somewhere I have heard that if you get rewarded on international platforms, then it really helps you out there. Which is, I would say, not such a marker to getting an investment. It's a good opportunity, but that is how I ended up there. So I filled the form and everything, and then later they did an interview, and we got a call that we have been selected as top 100 startups. So I was there to present and to actually get that exposure. So I asked a lot of my friends and a lot of other founders. So I asked Pawan, actually.
Achha.
Pawan from Kritikal.
Correct.
So he was like, tere ko karna hai to kar le. Like, if you want to go, but it is not going to make a lot of difference. But again, as a new founder, as a just out of college, so I was curious. And
plus Istanbul.
Yeah. So those were the 4 days that I was there. And I can see that, I was absolutely pitching everybody who was just who was moving and who was saying, who had an investor tag. I was just telling them this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. So I think, that is why I landed up there in Istanbul.
And I think you pitched. I was one of the judges when you were pitching.
Yes.
There is actually a YouTube video of our first interaction.
You should play that. So,
but that getting said, it was a very interesting conversation because when we met, I told you something.
Yeah.
And you took it very seriously.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And many people would have said, "Kare, ऐसे कुछ बोल दिया," like just to tell me to buzz off.
Yeah.
But I actually meant what I said. Right? And maybe you could share what that interaction was, because I think a year or so later.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You reached out to me again.
No, I will tell you exactly the same, exactly the timeline of that. So, first of all, we met at the mentorship day where you suggested me on that, and that is the part of the video as well, YouTube video. Then after that, later on the next day, I also saw you there, and you were, I think, the only Indian investor that was invited for this event. So whenever in a foreign land you see an Indian investor, you have the tendency to just go there and pitch them. So that's how I did that there as well. And you won't believe I got 2 cards from you. So I pitched you twice. So there was one very unique thing that stuck by me and that remained. So you told me the story of Wow Momos. So you told do you know about Wow Momos? I was like, no, I don't know. So then you told me that in the beginning they made the business and they made it so solid that now the investors are after them. And they are not they are picking and choosing and who to get invested with. So that is something that got stuck with me, and I think that was the first time where I got a little how should I say, एक ठहराव आया कि एक जैसे जो एकदम से निकलते हैं कॉलेज से, एकदम से स्टार्टअप होता है और फिर इन्वेस्टमेंट. So there I felt like this is something to stay by, because it was taking a lot of my time creating things which do not exist.
Correct.
And like, so there was also one event. So we were at that yacht. So they had that yacht thing. And wahan pe, there was a French guy, and we were just standing there. And so he asked me, like, why are you here? I told him about GetWork, that, we are here to raise investment. And he asked me, how much are you raising? And I said, we are raising $1 million on a $10 million valuation. It was like almost there, like, it just came out of my mind. And that is what I thought. So I had read a lot of your story. I had a lot of Inc. 42, aaj ye fund hua, aaj wo fund hua, aaj isko 10
all in millions, right?
All in millions. So I thought, like, it would be that way. But after talking to you, I felt that, yes, this makes more sense, because right now whenever I'm getting just the questions and I'm spending a lot of time. So I had 2 cards. I had your direct number, but I never reached out to you.
Yeah.
Then I called you on February of 8th, 2021.
Right.
February 7 was the money that was transferred. And my words to you was that I had your number all time long, but I stick to the plan that you had given me, and I followed that one. And that's when we got funded.
Yeah. And it was a very, I think it took us a lot of time to finish the due diligence.
Yes.
Right?